think before I start anything, I'm just going to invite you to, wherever you are, stop, focus on your internal environment. See if there's any tension in your body, anywhere that your body is holding on. And when we take a breath together, send that breath into those spaces. Send them into your muscles, into your shoulders, into any aches and pains, any places that your body is asking for breath, for oxygen, for life. And so we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. And each of those breaths is going to be even deeper than the one before. And then after the 3rd breath, once we've breathed out, we'll breathe in again and we will sing Om, O-M, Om, sound of the universe. And I'm just going to start this video like this just to bring in a moment of peace and presence as we celebrate day 13 of the 30 days of joy, joyful living challenge, or as I celebrate. So we're going to take the first deep breath together. Breathe out. And when you breathe out, see if you can make a sigh or see what sound your body wants to make. Breathe in, deeper than before. And breathe out. And last time, breathe in. Hold at the top for 3, 2, 1, and breathe out. And then if you feel called, breathe in with me for Om. Breathe in. Om. That's when the lawnmower decides to start up and we rejoice at the beginning of a new day. Welcome back, beautiful souls. This is day 13 of the 30 Days of Joy challenge. It's a challenge that I myself, Joy, am embarking on my own. It's not like a program or anything that I'm inviting you to do with me. I'm simply documenting what happens if for 30 days in a row I only allow myself to exist in the frequency of joy. For me, joy is a frequency, it's a vibration. And emotions, like when you tune into the frequency of a radio station, the emotions are the songs that play that are influenced by the station. And so I still allow myself to, using a timer, hear those songs, allow them to be expressed, move that energy, move that emotion. But I am maintaining a vibration of joy. I am purposefully, intentionally, and consciously increasing my vibrational basal state. And it has been 13 days. Now, when I started this challenge, I don't think I could have imagined, oh, I'm going to get emotional. I don't think I could have imagined the actual manifestations of love, joy, abundance, bliss, peace, and prosperity that would come my way. I knew that embarking on this journey was going to change my life in some way. I did have that sense, but I could never have put money, I could never bet money on what exactly I would experience. And the reason I'm emotional is because for so long I have existed in a state of yo-yoing between ecstasy and depression. It has felt like I've been hand in hand with my shadow, sometimes battling her, sometimes holding her, sometimes laughing with her, often crying with her. And we have been trying to rise, And it has been like there's been an anchor around our ankles holding us down every time I reached a state of ecstasy, of bliss, of joy. It was so momentary, so transitory. And I know all things are impermanent, but I think there's a difference between the impermanence of our fluctuating state of being and emotional state and permanently being pulled back down in frequency, permanently having my light leave me. And even through all 5 years of healing, even when I packed up my bags in 2022 and I said, sayonara, life, I left the apartment, I left the boyfriend, I left the job, I left the UK. Even throughout that experience and those years of travel, it has always been like this, riding these waves and just honestly believing that it would always be that way. And especially coming back to the UK, and the UK for me personally, I really feel like the UK has a dense frequency. It is a cesspool of fear. Not to like, I don't know, no disclaimers. For me, the UK is a dense cesspool of fear. And the moment the coach arrived in Dover, so obviously I've just come back from Germany. I'm now sitting in my garden, my dad's garden in Croydon, London, England. The journey was 13 hours and we had to catch the ferry from Calais in France to Dover in England. And the moment the coach was driving along the motorway after having touched down in Dover, I felt my whole system react. It was almost like my muscles were being pulled into contraction, my airways were constricting. I felt both overwhelmed and depleted at the same time. It was an overwhelming feeling of that anchor dragging me down. And I think it is a frequency that pervades the UK. And no wonder we cannot thrive here. No wonder, like, just no wonder. If you live in Britain, if you've been to the UK, you'll understand. The more sensitive you get, the harder it is to exist here. And that's all I have been doing. Since I got back in June 2024, I have simply been existing, attempting to integrate and attempting to pull myself up into joy, but without much luck. And so when I tell you that these past few days, these past 2 weeks of consciously like using the tools that I have learned on my journey, the tools of visualization, of light love, of breath work, of meditation, of journaling, gratitude lists, of movement, and of intention, like intention just being so important, entering into this container, I have stepped into a life that even a version of me a month ago could never have dreamed of. It's that the change is that, I don't want to say severe, but that's the word that has come to mind. It has been such a U-turn, and just being like so blown away by the art and the music and the passion and the beauty that is life, and seeing myself reflected in so many different pools of bliss, like learning and learning from and finding a newfound hobby. Like, the guitar for me has never been something that I aspired to play, and yet yesterday when I was laying in my bed in London feeling anxious and overwhelmed, and like the weights had been placed back on my legs and were beginning to pull me back down, I pulled out that guitar and I sat with her and I felt her singing to me as I played, and I felt my heart connecting to her as the frequency of this being, the spirit inside of this wooden guitar, sang to me and with me. And I think a big part of joy, okay Betty, we get it, you're joyful, we get it. A big part of finding your joy and being able to be joyful is to find things that you enjoy. And it may be that there's something in your life that's missing. For me, obviously it was like, I'm not saying all my problems were because I didn't have a guitar in my life, guys, but I'm saying that when you bring yourself up to the frequency of joy and you follow your joy, that joy will lead you to joyful people. It will lead you to joyful hobbies. It will lead you down pathways and avenues that you wouldn't have even been able to see before, because you weren't vibrating at that level. And I'm really feeling like this joyful experiment is something that I really want to share. Like, something is beginning to form in my mind of how I can share this challenge, of how I can help other people tap into their own energetic set points and frequencies. But primarily these 30 days is me just being an example. It's showing you that it is possible. It's possible to exist at a frequency of joy every day if you are intentional, if you are conscious, if you are willing, if you are self-aware. And there is a certain amount of healing, there's a certain point in your journey that you must be at in order to walk this way. And I understand that because I've had to walk it. 5 years. 2020 is when I had my first awakening and began to look inwards. And it feels like the blossoming of my own seeds, which I've been sowing for years and years and years, and will continue to sow. I fully intend to start up my travels again, wherever they take me, whoever they take me to. I fully intend to leave behind the frequency of the UK and not return for a while. And I fully intend to continue turning inwards and taking what I found inwards and holding it up as a light, as an example, with full humility, of course. I'm no guru. I'm no special enlightened being. I'm just somebody who has spent a lot of time alone, thinking and processing and grieving and crying and learning and unlearning and programming and reprogramming and reparenting my inner child and speaking to the universe and hearing the universe speak back. And it is so important to cultivate that inner relationship as well as that universal relationship in order to be able to cultivate like pure high vibrational external relationships. It's all one, it's all the same. But it begins within. As within, so without, as above, so below. The first Hermetic principle. And I am burning right now. Wherever you are on your journey, you watching this, just know that it's all divinely timed and perfect and out of your hands anyway. And so with that, I will leave you on day 13. I will see you again tomorrow for day 14 with my new puppy Shadow that I'll be looking after in this house sit. We'll have a new friend to join us on this blissful challenge. And with that being said, I will leave you. Mwah. I am alive today and I'm joyful and I'm joyful. I am alive today and I am joyful. I am joyful. I am alive today. Oh my gosh, a bumblebee.